good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are excited about coming to you this morning. We have Dante Godfrey and we have Sandy Gray with us. We are excited about what we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to be talking about blocks. So, like, and I always like to give examples. Not a couple months ago, I kept having a block. I kept trying to figure out, why can't I get this? Why can't I figure this out? And what I come to find out was there were some blocks that was going on that were emotional. So now what we're going to do is we're going to share with you the reading, and then we're going to mastermind about how you can actually get rid of these blocks. And I'll share with you some things that I did also to help me get rid of the blocks. I'm sorry, my son. Go put your clothes on, baby. Go back and put your clothes on. Go back in the bathroom. Go. I'm sorry, I'm being mommy now. Okay, let me turn off. Morning. We have Dante Godfrey. Okay. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Dante Godfrey. Still there. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, we are going to share with you some things that you can do in order to get rid of those blocks. So we're going to help you to identify those blocks, see why they're there, and things that you can do to get rid of them. And we have with us, as I was sharing, we have Dante Godfrey and Sandy Gray with us. Sandy is a life coach, so I know she's going to really be able to add some value to this. And Dante is just a superstar internet marketer who gets a lot done. So you're going to be getting some really, really great feedback on this particular topic. If you don't have the book, Creative Visualization, I'm going to ask that you go over to Google and type in Creative Visualization and go ahead and PDF. So Creative Visualization PDF. Type that in Google and it will come up as a free ebook that you can actually download on your computer and read with us. Today we're going to start on page number 140. So if you actually do have it downloaded, you're going to go to the top and you'll type in 140. In fact, I'm going to do a screen share and see if those of you who don't have it, because I don't know if you have it or not, but let me try doing a screen share and see if that will allow you to be able to see it. Can you all see my screen?
No, not at the moment. I can now. Oh, that
Okay.
looks clear. That looks very good, actually, Rachel. That's brilliant.
Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and read this. And it says, I'll start it out, and Dante and Sandy, if you want to come and pick up, at somewhere in the middle, I'll stop so you can do that. Clearing. In clearing to use creative visualization, you may get in touch with blocks in yourself that hold you back from attaining your highest good. A block is a place where energy is constricted, not moving, not flowing. Usually blocks are caused initially by repressed emotions of fear, sadness, guilt, self-criticism, and or resentment, anger, which causes a person to tighten up and close down spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. In dealing with a block on any level, what's needed is to get energy moving and flowing in that area. The key to this are: 1, mental and emotional acceptance of what you are feeling, not a physical level. On a physical level, that manifests as relaxation and release. 2, clear observation, which leads to an understanding of the root of the problem, which is often a limiting attitude or belief. So in dealing with an area of consciousness where we have a block, we need to first experience as full as possible the emotion we have, locked up in that area in a loving, accepting way. In doing so, we get the block of energy moving, and we have a chance to observe the underlying negative beliefs or attitudes which cause the problem to begin with. We can take a good, clear look at them and let them dissolve themselves. Amazing enough, it seems to be the process of pinpointing the constructive belief and accepting the feelings you have around it, which work magically, but typically almost inevitably dissolves and disappears eventually once you understood and accepted yourself. It's much simpler than you may think. The trick is to simultaneously love and accept yourself compassionately for having this belief, and at the same time see clearly that you are ready to let go of it because it is limiting, destructive, self-defeating, and untrue. Some common core beliefs that are most prevalent and troublesome are. Cindy, you want to pick on page 127? Well, 142 at the top, but it's 127 on the right.
Yeah, okay, I can do that. Okay, all right. I am not. I am not okay. There is something wrong with me. I'm unworthy and undeserving. I have done bad things or a bad thing in my life, and I deserve to suffer, be punished for it. And you know that's something that people can say very very easily to ourselves. People, including me, are basically bad, selfish, cruel, stupid, untrustworthy, sinful, or foolish. The world is an unsafe place. There's not enough, could be love, money, good things to go around, so I have to struggle to get my share. Or it's hopeless, I will never get enough. Or if I have a lot, someone else will have to do without. Life is painful, suffering, hard work. It's not meant to be fun or pleasurable. Love is dangerous, I might get hurt. Power is dangerous, I might hurt someone. Money is the root of all evil, money corrupts. The world doesn't work and never will. In fact, it's getting worse all the time. I don't have control over what happens to me. I am powerless to do anything against my life or the state of the world. And that's many beliefs of people. So I have to say that I'm not confessing that. It's totally untrue.
Okay. So Sandy, we're on page what, 128? It looks like my screen froze up.
All right, I'm on 128. I can get to 128, so I'll do that. I'll do that now. Hand over to Dante. As you read through these negative ideas, see whether any of them reflect an underlying assumption of your own belief system or emotional pattern. Depressing though they may seem, when you read them all at once, the fact is that every one of us has bought into some of these or other negative viewpoints about reality, at least to some degree. And it's no wonder that we have incorporated these ideas into our own sense of reality. They are all extremely prevalent in our world at this time in our evolution. In fact, the world is currently being run according to these ideas, although fortunately this is rapidly changing. The important thing to realize is that they are only beliefs. They have no objective truth, although they may seem to be true at times when we look at ourselves, look around us. That is only because so many human beings believe them and act accordingly. The most powerful thing that you can do, and it is very powerful to change the world, is to change your own beliefs about the nature of life, people and reality, and begin to act accordingly. This book will give you some tools to do so. Shall I hand over to Dante?
I think Dante is at work. Dante, are you able to read, or would you like for me to continue? He said no, so I'll go ahead and read. I think that's
okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Wait. Okay. Clearing exercise. If you are having trouble realizing the goal, and sense resistance in yourself to achieve it, try this exercise. Take a piece of paper and write at the top the reasons I can't have what it is. Then immediately begin to write a list of anything that comes to your head to complete the sentence. Don't take too much time to write your answer, and don't take it too seriously. Just quickly write down about 20 or 30 things that comes to you, even if it seems silly or stupid. A simple list might start like this: The reason why I can't have what I want is I'm too lazy. I don't have enough money. It doesn't exist. I've tried before and never worked. Mother said I couldn't. I don't want to. It's too hard. I'm afraid. John wouldn't like it. It's too much fun, and so on. Try the same exercise, only this time specifically name the things that you want. For example, the reasons I can't have a good job is, and proceed as before. Now just sit quietly for a few minutes with this list and see whether any of the thoughts you've written down rings true for you. Whether it seems, whether in some way or degree you believe in them, you believe them. Just get a sense of what kind of limitations you put on yourself and your world. Now write a list of things. Now write a list of all of the most negative attitudes you can think about yourself, other people, relationships, the world, and life. Again, sit quietly with your list with the world of get in touch with which of these ideas may consciously and unconsciously hold emotional power over you. If at any point during this exercise you feel any emotions coming up, just stay with that and allow yourself to experience it as much as possible with total acceptance. You may get a flash of early experience or something your parents or teachers used to tell you, which was programmed you to view the world in a certain way. Whenever you feel complete with the process, especially if you've gotten in touch with one or more negative beliefs that you hold, simply tear your list up and throw them away. This symbolizes that you are in the process of releasing them. Then sit quietly, relax, and do some affirmations to replace your constricted, limiting beliefs with more open, constructive, positive ones. A few possible clearing affirmations. I have resolved my entire past. It is complete and I am free. I am dissolving all negative limiting beliefs that has no power over me. They have no power over me. I now forgive and release everyone in my life. We are all happy and free. I don't have to try to please others. I am naturally lovable and likable no matter what I do. I let go of all accumulated guilt, fear, resentment, disappointment, and grudges. I am free and clear. All my self-images and attitudes are now dissolved. I love and appreciate myself. All barriers to my full expressions and enjoyment of life are fully dissolved. Are now dissolved. The world is a beautiful place to be. The universe always provides. More clearing exercises.
Go ahead.
Huh?
You go ahead.
Okay. More clearing exercises. This exercise is about forgiving and release. Write down on a piece of paper the names of everyone in your life who you fear and ever mistreated you, harmed you, done you an injustice, or towards you feel and have felt resentment, hurt, and anger. Next to the person's name, write down what he or she did to you, or what you resent the person for. Then close your eyes, relax, and by one of the visual and by one visualize or imagine each person holds a little conversation with each other, hold a little conversation with each one, and explain to him or her that you move. Explain to him or her that no, that's okay. And explain to him or her that in the past you felt anger, hurt towards him or her, but now you're going to do your best to forgive the person for everything and to dissolve the release and constricted energy between you. Give a person a blessing and say, "I forgive you and release you." Go your own way and be happy. When you have finished this process, write on your paper, I now forgive you and release you all, and throw it away, as a symbol of you letting go of these past experiences. Many people find that this process of forgiving and release is miraculous and relieving them immediately of their long-standing burdens and accumulated resentment, hostility. The wonderful thing, the wonderful thing is that the other people is involved, even though you never seen them again.
Will only the psychic level pick up?
Yeah, well, on a psychic level, pick up on your forgiveness, and it will help to clear up their lives as well. It may be the time. It may be that first time you. It may be the first time you do this process. You will have an experience or relief and release to certain people, especially a parent, spouse, or other significant person in your life. If there's a strong emotional charge or a lot of deep feelings, it may be necessary to talk to a therapist or a counselor, or find a safe place to fully express your anger and hurt. We mustn't try to force ourselves to forgive before we really accept we really accept it and express our feelings after. One. Okay. Okay.
We do
After
it.
where we at? Yeah,
We
after
do it.
we do forgiveness often comes naturally. Continue to do this process from time to time, and eventually it will be resolved for you. Remember, it is for our own benefit, health, and happiness that we are doing this. Many people experience miraculous healing and physical problems after doing this process, as many physical alignments such as cancer and arthritis are directly related to accumulated anger and resentment. Everyone you can think of in your life who you feel you have hurt and done an injustice, and write down what you have done to these people. Again, close your eyes, relax, and imagine each person in turn. Tell him or her what you did, and ask the person to forgive you, and you give you his or her blessing. Then picture the person doing so. When you have finished the process, write at the bottom of the paper or across the whole thing, I forgive myself, and I absolutely and absolve myself of all guilt here and now and forever. Then tear off the paper and throw it away.
Wow. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate that. Ooh, wow. Wow, this is
Okay.
powerful stuff, I tell you. One final clearing
Right.
process. Go through your closet, drawers, basement, garage, or desk. Wherever you have accumulated stuff that you don't need, and throw it out or give it away. This vigorous, concrete action on the physical level is symbolic of what you are doing on mental, emotional, and psychic level. Clearing out old, useless stuff, getting the energy flow moving, and getting your house in order. It will make you feel great, especially if you do affirmations while you're doing it, such as the more I outflow, the more space I create for good things to come to me. I love giving and I love receiving. As I clean up and clear out my physical space, I am cleaning up and clearing out my life in every way. I'm now putting my life in order, preparing to accept all the good that is coming to me now. I give thanks now for all the good that I have and all the good things to come. Wow, you know what? I think I want to, let me see, we have about 10 more minutes. Okay, let's go ahead and read writing affirmations. Writing affirmations. The technique I'm about to describe has brought some of the fastest and most dramatic changes in my life on many different occasions. It's a combination of writing affirmations and a clearing process, neatly rolled into one. I love it because it is simple and easy to do, yet it gets down to the very deep level. Writing affirmations is a very dynamic technique because The written word has so much power over our minds. We are both writing and reading them at the same time. So it's like a double hit of energy. Take an affirmation you want to work with and write it 10 or 20 times in succession on a piece of paper. Use your name and try writing in the first person, second, and third person. For example, I, Rachel, am a successful fear coach. uh, Rachel, you are a successful fear coach. Rachel is a successful fear coach. I had to put my name in. I'm sorry. Just having fun. Don't just write it by rote. Don't just write it by rote. Really think about the meaning of the words as you are writing them. Notice whether you feel any resistance, doubts, or negative thoughts about what you are writing. Whenever you do, even a slight one, turn the paper over and on the back write out the negative thought. The reason why the affirmation can't be true, can't work, or whatever. For example, I'm really not good enough. I'm too old. This isn't going to work. Then go back to writing the affirmation. When you are finished, take a look at the back of the paper. If you've been honest, you will have a good look at the reason why you keep yourself from having what you want in this particular case. With this in mind, think of some affirmations you can do to help you specifically counteract these negative fears or beliefs and begin to write out these new affirmations. For example, if one of your negative beliefs is, I can't be more successful than my father was, you could affirm, my father is proud and happy about my success. Or you may want to stick with the original affirmation if it seems effective. Or modify it slightly to be more accurate. Keep writing with writing the affirmation once or twice a day for a few days. Once you feel that you really looked at your negative programming, discontinue writing it out and just keep writing the affirmation. Then you want to pick up the where it says my experience?
Yes, I will do. So what page are you on now? Because I'm just looking at your page. My experience with this process. Okay, hold on. Oh, it's bottom of 130. Oh no, it's not there.
Let me see what page it's in.
Setting,
It's maybe for setting goals. I guess I can. Let me just finish this out. See, I'll finish this out, and you can just pick up on setting goals.
What page are you on? Can you just tell me? Because I'm on
I can't. You know, I some way that I made my screen big and I can't see. Did I say, do you know what page?
Okay, don't worry, honey. Don't worry. Let me just have a quick look. Because I was following you, and then I was sort of on your screen and then on my screen. So no, I've gone to setting goals, which is not where I want to be.
I think it's 146.
That takes at 146.
Right. Was this in mind? Is that what you? Or
right here, this is my experience with this process is that often.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Let me go ahead and finish that part out, seeing if you want, you can do setting goals. My experience with this process is that often, whatever I have been affirming manifests surprisingly quickly after going through the clearing process. And I have usually received many valuable insights into my own pattern this way. Now I'm going to roll down to where it says setting goals. You see setting goals?
Okay. I'll read through setting goals, everyone. I hope you're enjoying this, audience. Setting goals. Possibly the trickiest part of getting what you want in life is just figuring out what you really want. And yet, it is certainly the most important part of all. I have found this to be unfailingly true in my life. As soon as I have a very clear, strong intention to create a particular thing, it manifests almost immediately, often within hours or days of getting clear about it, with very little effort involved. I experience this as a kind of click in my consciousness when I suddenly get a very strong experience of what I want and an equally strong experience that I am going to get it. It usually takes a certain amount of time and energy spent in processing before I arrive at the point of clarity. And very often the click of clarity has been preceded by feelings of confusion, despair, hopelessness, and so on, which I have had to work my way through. So don't worry, the darkest hour is truly just before the dawn. The most extreme example of this in my own life was the 10-year process of deep emotional healing that I went through in order to get clear about my intention to find my life partner. Although I thought I was ready for this to happen, I discovered that I had much deep fear and ambivalence. Once I was able to acknowledge these feelings consciously and work with healing my fears and old emotional patterns, my intention became clear. 3 weeks later, I got together with the man who is now my husband. Discovering what you want in your life can be facilitated by the process of setting goals. I often find it helpful to do some exercises with pen and paper, which I share with you here. When you are working on setting goals, it's important to keep a few things in mind. Remember that setting goals does not mean that you are stuck with those goals. You can change them as often as you want to and feel that it's necessary. Remember also that setting goals does not mean that you have to pursue them through effort, striving or struggling. It does not mean that you have to become emotionally addicted to achieving them. On the contrary, setting goals can help you flow through life more easily, effortlessly, pleasurably. The nature of life is movement and creativity, and goals give you a clear focus and direction in which to channel your natural creative energy, thereby helping you to outflow and contribute to the world, which enhances your feeling of well-being and satisfaction in life. Goals are there to help you and support you in your true purpose. Goals can be made in the spirit that life is enjoyable, an enjoyable game to be played, and one that can be deeply rewarding. They are not to be taken too heavily or seriously. At the same time, you must give them enough weight and importance so they are of real value to you. You may find that the very process of choosing goals brings up a certain amount of emotional resistance in you. You might experience this in various different ways, such as feeling depressed, hopeless, or overwhelmed at the thought of trying to set goals. Or you might feel the desire to distract yourself by eating, sleeping, or other activities. These emotional reactions, if you should have them, are clues to the way in which you avoid getting what you want in life. It's important to go ahead and experience these feelings and reactions, to go through them and proceed with the process. Once you get into it, you'll find it of value. Then again, you may thoroughly enjoy the whole process and find it very expansive, fun and enlightening. I hope so. Don't make the choosing of goals too complicated or significant. Start with simple, obvious things. Remember, you can always change and develop them as you go along.
Thank you very much, Sandy. That was great reading. Thank you, Dante. I appreciate you also. And I know you all. I had you kind of going with the Dante. I didn't even realize that you were following along, and I've been scrolling, and I knew you were trying to keep up. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. I think I'm back here normally. Okay,
Yeah,
so what I wanted to oh wow, we have some really great information to mastermind on. And you know, I would like to just kind of go back up to where we started reading and where we talked about blocks. We talked about how, you know, actually when you're going through life and you're trying to attempt something, you're trying to achieve something, but it seems like every time you go to do it, there's a block. Maybe you want to be committed. Maybe you want, you want to start doing something, but you can't. Maybe you bought a training. I don't know. There's something that you took a step to do, but for whatever reason, there is a block here that won't allow you to continue the process. It happened for me. I kept saying, this probably went on for, I don't know, maybe a couple of years. Okay, so why am I stuck? Why do I stay in it? I'm an internet marketer also. Why do I stay in this block? Why do I stay in this place? Why can't I move forward, right? And that was so, it bothered me so much, but I still wanted to overcome it. And even coming to this book, I mean, I would be the first to admit I don't know everything, and we can all learn from one another. So this right here was a very big eye opener for me. I had, and I think it's a process. Like one of the things she mentioned was, forgiveness, forgiving people. I actually went to webinar, not a webinar, a seminar with Danny Johnson, and she had us to do something very similar to what they talked about here. It was for them, for this paper, for this reading, she said on a piece of paper, but she actually had us to stand up and say, she had someone sit in the audience and say, will you forgive me? And if you had to ask for forgiveness. So asking forgiveness is the beginning step of many of the things that I'm not just going to say many, but some of the things that you need to do in order to get past that block. Well, so after I did that, I started seeing, my results change. Things started changing for me. But then I got into another block, and I'm like, why is this block here? So I've shared before, I have this book called Heal Yourself by Louise Hayes, and it has a lot of things about emotions. And as it mentioned here, a lot of people who have cancer, they have resentment and anger that they need to get past. And so I was reading the book for myself. I said, oh, well, here's all this good information for everyone else. Let me go over here to why do I have this block? Why is this block here? And what I had to do was, I can't remember what the emotion was, but there's an affirmation to every block. And so the affirmation for me was, I am clear, I am focused. So I started saying, I am clear and I am focused. And as I started saying, I am clear and I am focused, and repeating that process, I began to watch the block just move out of my way and still moving forward. And I like when the book also talked about how, it doesn't matter if your goals or if they're actually goals that you're going to achieve, but life is about moving. You're moving. And that's what happens when we begin, like when we set the goal and when we get past the block, we're just moving. And I can't explain how that feels. It's such an exciting, rewarding experience when you're experiencing this. I mean, I'm really excited about this book. So many different nuggets that have been brought out. So I'm going to move out of the way so that Sandy and Dante can come in and share their thoughts from what we have read today. Sandy, Dante, either one of you want to jump in here? No?
Sorry. Sorry, I had somebody on my Facebook. Not to worry. What do we want to... Sorry, let's just get back to my focus. I need to block them off, these people, when they...
Yeah, that Facebook can be something else at times.
No, because it's, lost my train of thought there. So, yes, what did you want me to say, Rachel? Sorry, what did you ask me?
Okay. So we talked about clearing. We talked about, the reason why people have a block is because of the emotions of fear, sadness, guilt, self-criticism, resentment, anger, and so we talked about the body tightening up, and therefore we close down spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically, right? And so one of the things that they talked about was mental and emotional acceptance of what you are feeling was one of the steps that she mentioned on here. And so, if you want to jump in and share on that or some clearing observations that will help a person, anything that you have that you want to add to this.
Oh, okay, right. Well, I think a lot of us can fear the world for all sorts of different reasons, and nothing really is fearful out there. It's just that we go into our little hole, thinking that nobody loves us, nobody cares about us, and that is actually your reality. So you have to come out of that, and it's when you come out of that that you realise that a lot of that is not actually true. And I was going to say something yesterday, and I can actually add it at this point because I think this is absolutely vital. I think this is absolutely crucial for every single person listening to this call. Really and truly, every single person needs to hear this. If you are reading a newspaper every single day, if you are watching TV for so many hours during the day, and all you're doing is watching the news, You know, all you're doing is reading all the garbage that they put in these newspapers, everything that is to put you in depressed mode, then you really and truly need to give that up, because it will make a difference to your life. I've met a lot of people over the years who just watch the news, and when you speak to them, they're telling you how they're depressed and, you know, they really want to change the world, but they can't change the world because they've just got caught up with all the nonsense of what governments are saying. And at the end of the day, all these governments and all of them, they really need to look out into the deep blue sea, because a lot of the things that they're doing is nothing to do with reality. You know, it's all to do with power. When we have wars, what we're having a war about? It's because simply somebody had a disagreement about something and people probably didn't interpret it correctly. And men generally are the ones that start all this. Well, women, you know, I always say women need to be running the world. Sorry, Dante, but that's how I feel. We are of the fairer sex, and you know, I mean, why do they have to cause all these problems? You know, why do people have to be hungry around the world? Why do, you know, people repossessing people's houses? Why are bankers allowed to get away with what they get away with? Why is the Federal Reserve, and most people in America will think that is a government bank, that's private. So all of these people out there are putting fear into people. They keep channeling all of this information in the news. People watch it and get depressed, and then they, you know, they worry about their job and they worry about all sorts of things, and they worry about that they have no value themselves. You know, a lot of that is all coming from outside. So you have to connect with yourself and feed you good, positive affirmations. Everything that we've been talking about in the last few days, you really have to take yourself out of that environment, watching the news every second and reading the newspaper, because all it is, it's doom and gloom. And your life, I mean, there's no, for some reason, you know, there's no newspaper out there that comes up with happy news every single day of the week. You know, every single page you turn, it's beautiful, happy, 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 happy news. It's not. It's news to drag down your spirit. So I'm pleading to people out there that are listening to this to get away from all of that. Just have a little bit of information for you to know a little bit what's going on, but you do not need to be knowing what's going on in the world, because a lot of it is just there to just drag you down. And people need to sit up and take responsibility. You know, start a business, create your own economy. I know this is probably going further down the route for people, but that's how I'm feeling at the moment. Just wanted to say it. Create your own economy. You know, put you first. Look after you. You can then help other people. We've been put on this earth to spread goodness and help others. And a lot of you have been caught up in the trap with, you know, looking to the negatives that are on TV, the stereotyping, you know, X Factor and all this sort of nonsense where people watch it season after season. Why are you watching that? You've not got any money in your pocket, and all you're doing is making money for the TV networks. So people need to stand up and be counted and realise that you are being hoodwinked, you are being dragged into, you know, into all this negativity, and it's not necessary. Because, you know, just think of, just wake up and look out and just think, well, hang on a minute, we can go back to Adam and Eve. This is a garden where we all should be, where we've all got fruit on the tree that we can go and pick, you know, and just have that peace. And that's what we are supposed to have in this world. That's what every single human being craves for. And that's what we... So don't subscribe to all the sort of nonsense of the news and TV. Get away from that. Find your space. And don't listen to people that are telling you that you're no good at this and you're no good at that, because you are good. Every single one of us has got greatness in us. But you have people suppressing your greatness because they tell you that you're no good, so you believe it. So it's very important to just go through everything that we've spoken about today, and if you've been on the calls in the last few days, the same thing, because that will make you stronger. And when you're strong, you can help other people. So, so that's that, Rachel. It's just my thoughts. I might have gone off pat with what you were talking about, but it's just what I feel this morning.
Well, Sandy, I believe you were right on target. And what you said is crucial. The TV, the things that we allow our minds to take in, they become a part of our reality. They become a part of our beliefs. They become a part of who we are. And, one of the things that we talked about is the most powerful thing that you can do if you want to change the world is to change your beliefs about people, about nature, about reality. And the only way you can do that is you change what you're allowing your mind to receive. And so, like you said, if you listen to the TV or you listen to, music that is not building you up, if you're even on Facebook and on the internet, if you're taking yourself to places that are not building you, but they've put out negative energy, then you'll never be able to do the things that you desire to do. And you'll never be able to get past those blocks because all it's doing is entertaining that emotion that already exists and that's already there. So good stuff, Sandy. Thank you very much for sharing. Dante, did you have anything you wanted to add to or say in the process of this?
Yes, I was gonna say, pretty much what we're talking about is just emotional blocks. The stuff that we take, the stuff we take in is in our subconscious is either it's not negative, it's not positive. It's an intake of everything. Now, how you perceive that knowledge is the problem, and that's when it comes to the emotion that we actually have. So if we have negative emotions at that time, how we perceive everything is going to be negative. So we're going to give that output of negativity into the world, which we're going to receive it at that point. But if we actually have a positive intake and fill our brains and our atmosphere with positive activity all the time, how we perceive the knowledge of the world is going to be positive. That's different between the optimist and a pessimist. The way they perceive things. Okay. Now, your belief plays a big part of that. I talked about this yesterday. Your belief plays a big part in that because obviously that's your foundation. That's the foundation of everything that you stand for. If you change your belief to a positive belief, that in turn turns into a habit. Okay, once that your belief turns into a positive habit, then your emotions begin to be consistently positive. Okay, which creates your actions to be positive actions and get more done, which creates a better result than what you had. So what the book is pretty much talking about is getting your mindset right, getting your emotions free and clear and positive, so you can receive the knowledge and turn it into positive, so you can have positive results in your life.
Wow, Dante. So basically, what you're saying is, if you get rid of all that negative stuff, then you'll actually begin to flow in another direction anyway.
Right.
Is that the easy way to summarize that? Good stuff. Thank you very much. Wow. This is powerful. And another thing that makes this whole entire hangout so powerful is that she has actually provided exercises for you to do. Now, very seldom do I go into a book or find a book where there's little exercises for you to actually accomplish it. So, sometimes we'll find excuses and we'll say, well, I still don't know how to do that. I don't really understand that. But she's telling you, here are the exercises you can do. Get a piece of paper out. Take a piece of paper and write at the top the reasons I can't have what I want and begin to write them down. She gives you a list, so she gives you some examples. So, again, if you have not downloaded this book, I really, really want to encourage you to download it and start going through the exercises. Because you know what? You can read this all day long, but if you don't take the action, you'll never get to the place that you desire to be. We have to take the action in order to get what we want. We did the book yesterday, and I really wanted to do this exercise again today, but I said no. I'm gonna trust them that they're gonna go ahead and do this exercise on their own. Because exercise is powerful. So if you are finding yourself blocked, I really, really encourage you to go and download this and go ahead and go through the exercises on how to do that, because she she gave some wonderful ideas on how to get past your blocks, right? And then she even gave you more after you get rid of those. After you do those, here's some more for you, you know. So this is all great information. So then we went on to setting goals, was the next chapter that. No, I'm sorry, that was writing affirmations. She talked about, writing affirmations and how powerful it is to write those affirmations. She's been talking about affirmations, through the entire time. But affirmations are very powerful over our minds. It will help you to, with both, if you write them, so you just don't want to just read them, you want to write and read them. And you want to write them often, very often, so that you can actually, the process becomes more real to you. Anybody want to jump in and talk about that as far as the writing the affirmations, and write them in different, like first person, second person, third person?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. When you write in affirmations, you're already what you're doing is you're saying it as if you've already done it. So you're putting yourself already in the action of doing it. Anytime you talk, anytime you say something powerful like "I will" and "I'm doing" or "I'm going" or anything like that, you're putting yourself in the action of as if you already did it. So right there in your mental, your subconscious, you let yourself know that I need to do this. Now, when you do that, you tend to, when you put it in your brain, you tend to take action on it, or your subconscious flows into your conscious, and you take action on it. So that's why that's powerful, because you're actually letting the universe know, and you're holding yourself accountable too, as well. And that's how you should do goals and anything else you do. That's how I do goals. I'm going to do this. I will do this today, at this time.
Wow, Dante, that's pretty good. Sorry, I was a little distracted here. But setting goals is crucial. So hopefully you all got some nuggets from what Dante just shared. I have to go back and watch the video myself. Sandy, you want to come out and share anything on goals?
Yeah, what I would say for
No,
me.
I'm sorry, I messed up. It was affirmations. But Dante, you talked about setting goals, didn't you?
Now, I was saying that affirmations, when you're speaking as if you've already done it, that holds you accountable to do it.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And I just said that that's how I do affirmations, and I also do goals. I speak as if I've already done it.
Okay. I'm sorry. I told you I got distracted by
I
something
got you.
knocking on the door, and I'm like, oh no.
Uh,
We're actually talking about affirmations. Please forgive me. So if you want to jump in and hear on.
I was going to say that. I was going to say. What I was going to say was with affirmations. I do exactly the same thing. It's like I'll create a video or something, and I'll actually say, well, I'm already a life coach, or and I haven't even got there yet. But because I know that's where I'm going, I will actually write it out and say that is what I am, so I'm already preempting it. So I tend to find that, when you do that, things happen faster for you as well, because you're visualizing yourself and seeing yourself in that role, and then providing you take the actions to get there, then it's going to happen. A lot of people, I think a good idea for people as well is to, and a lot of people probably won't want to do this, but this is really good commitment. If you want to achieve something and you've got a goal, what you should do is tell everybody your goal. And a lot of people are not brave enough to do that, because they feel that if they miss their goal, they don't achieve it, then they'll have a lot of people to answer to. But it will actually help them to actually move forward and think, well, hang on, I've told everybody now, I better go and do something about it. So it just depends on the individual. It depends on everybody. But that's just an idea that I've just thrown out there, because it might bless somebody today, in thinking that way, that they could go and share with friends and family or whoever and say, I'm going to achieve this, and let everybody know. I know somebody that did that. He said, I'm going to be a millionaire. and this was in September. He said, I'm going to be a millionaire by Christmas. And he was ridiculed. And he put this actually on his answering machine, on his voicemail. And he had friends and family, all sorts of people ridiculing him. Well, you know what? He became a millionaire. He didn't become a millionaire on the 31st of December when he wanted to become one, but he missed it by just a couple of weeks, so he was a millionaire in the January. Yeah? So even if you set that goal, if you don't quite achieve it bang on the date you've said, there's nothing wrong if you achieve it, you know, after that time, providing you've achieved it, because that's what you actually wanted to achieve. So I hope that helps. Is Rachel there?
Yes, that was great. My son stayed home from school today, so very many distractions going on. That's why I love having you all here today. So yeah, Sandy, I like what you're saying about, you know, I heard you talk about the millionaire, how he said it was going to happen, and something about when we say things, it propels us into moving forward. You know, I'm even thinking about myself. It's funny on Facebook how you talked about putting it out there, sharing it with someone. There's several things I've said that I was going to do, and that was before I actually knew how important it was to be clear on what it is that you want out of life. You got to know, you got to be really clear. If you're not clear, then all kind of ideas will come up. So I would probably put out about 10 different things that I'm going to do, and I would start them, and then I would stop them. And that was okay for me because it's a learning process. A lot of times we are afraid to do something because we, like you said, Katie, we're going to feel like we're going to be ridiculed. We feel like people are going to talk about us. But, you know, at the end of the day, that's not what's important. What's important is that you are achieving something in your life and moving forward to something greater. And as in the next section, we talked about goals. You know, you can set a goal. That goal may change. You know, it's changed for me several times. But, you know, where I'm at today, I feel pretty confident about this is where I probably will spend the next 20 years of my life, or how much ever time I have left on this earth, you know. That's a great feeling. It's very rewarding when you finally get to the place where you know, this is my long-term goal and this is my short-term goal. And it's important that we have both of those. So since we're talking about goals, let's go ahead and move into the goals section. So I want to say thank you to, where am I getting the feedback? I'm getting feedback. Is that feedback from Sandy, you or Dante?
I'm
getting feedback.
I'll just say something very quickly as well. You know, whatever you're putting out there, you know, whatever you want, you can have. I mean, it's about the last year, I've actually set up a few fan pages on Facebook, and I've called myself, because I actually did a check on Wikipedia, and I picked up lifestyle entrepreneur as my actual, one of my titles, yes, to describe myself, an entrepreneur, and a lifestyle, you know, to be able to help people to have a lifestyle and earn lots, you know, earn money in accordance with their values and beliefs, and that could be anything that they're doing online. And it's funny because I was just thinking that everybody I'm dealing with is actually a real entrepreneur, and then I come to join Rachel's group. She's got it, entrepreneur, in the title. So it's just trying to explain to people that when you actually focus on something, it comes about. You know, if you are thinking of buying a BMW or a Ferrari or whatever, and you're planning on going to a particular place on holiday, if you keep focusing on it, then all of a sudden you're going to start seeing all the TV adverts with the holiday, and everything, every magazine you pick up, you're going to see that holiday destination, or anywhere you go, you're going to see that car and the colour of that car. So you'll actually be able to be on track with knowing that what you're actually thinking and wanting is actually happening, because you start to see so much of it. So that's just something I just thought I would drop in there, Rachel. That just came into my thoughts.
Thank you very much, Sandy. Sandy, as always, you always share such good stuff. We have about 4 minutes left. Ooh, where is that feedback coming from? Is that? Oh, Sandy, I'm gonna mute you. Okay. Let me see if I can mute you.
On mute.
Okay. Okay. So we're into 4 minutes, and we covered affirmations. We covered clearing, and the last part we want to talk about is goals. We touched on goals a little bit, but one of the things that the book talked about is as soon as you get clear, and you get strong intentions to create particular thing, it manifests itself immediately. And even before I go there, and I don't know what section it was in, but I thought this was powerful. I think it actually was in the clearing process. I have to go back to this because, again, I like sharing life examples, right? So I was telling you about a couple months ago. I'm like, okay, I had a block. So recently, it's been like in my spirit. Okay, Rachel, you need to declutter your house. Because these are things that have built up through the years. These are things that have happened to me, and so what has happened is the clutter has begun to pile up, right? And so, and this is so funny that we're reading this now because I kept on saying I need to declutter. And since I'm doing a little bit on eBay, I'm thinking, okay, I could just go ahead and put this stuff on eBay too. But it's funny that we just read this. So me reading this, us reading this, those of us who are in that place, this is a powerful process that needs to take place, and that is us going in and clearing out the clutter in our drawers, in our house, before we can actually move forward. Because that's part of the movement. So she gave all those different exercises of things that we can do. So the last one is you got to go clear the clutter out of the house. And I want to actually encourage you to do that this week. I'm going to do it this week, and I want to encourage you to do it this week. I should call this the Entrepreneur Reality Show because I'm just a real person, and I'm going to keep it real. So, and a lot of times we think that we have to be perfect and we have to have it all together. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to be all together. You just need to keep moving until you get it. I'm the person that says that, yes, I've had these challenges, but I'm still moving, and I want you to move too. I don't want you to stay where you're at. I want to help you propel to the place that you desire to be. So before you even get into your setting goal process, it's important that you take that step because it's a very important step. Even your car, go clean your car out. Get all the clutter out of your car. How do I know? Because I've been there. So that's one important. So let's go to goals for a second. I don't really have any. I think we already talked about goals. Sandy or Dante, is there anything else that we didn't mention about goals that you would like to bring up before we close this hangout out?
Are we gonna go over goals tomorrow?
No, I was just going to kind of cover it, and if anything that you want to say about goals.
Yeah. It's for goal. Okay. Goal setting. A lot of people heard of the acronym SMART goals. I don't do SMART goals at all. The reason why, because goals should be hard to not hard to accomplish, but when you work your hardest, that's when the best comes out of you. Okay, so I set goals that's a little bit harder for me to attain, and then I accomplish those goals. The reason why is because if I set my bar high, even if I don't get it, I'm still going to be better than average. Okay, so I set something that's called HARD goals, HARD. So HARD goals are heartfelt goals, goals that you have an emotion attached to. You have to have an emotion. You have to have an emotion attached to your goals. A is for animated goals. You have to have something that you can visually picture. Picture like a movie or a play or something like that. R is for required goals. Something that you feel that you have no choice of. You have no choice. You have to get it done. D is for obviously difficult. We're the best. We tend to be the best when things are difficult and tough. Okay, that's how you get the best out of you, not when something's easy. So I set those type of goals to bring the best out of me. Okay, and once I bring the best out of me, I tend to bring the best out of others because now it's a challenge to others to even be on my level, and that's how leaders become leaders. Okay, by challenging themselves and challenging others around them. And that's pretty much how I set goals. You also have to set goals on different planes, physical goals, mental goals, spiritual goals, social goals. Okay, and set small goals, goals that you can, that's easy to hit, like goals, and make it equal to a big goal. So my first goal would be to get out of bed on time. I hit that, as long as I wake up and hit that goal. Now I'm motivated, right? I hit one of my goals for the day. Happy me, right? And then the next goal is obviously to probably teach somebody something, teach one or two people something. Now once I hit that goal, my personal goal would be a bigger goal for me to attain throughout the day. And then those small goals help me reach the big goal because I'm motivated. And I got my mindset in the right place, which is my emotions, which we just talked about. And my belief is obviously to help people and hit the smaller goals so I can help hit my bigger goal. Now once I do that every day, I got my habit together, which obviously my actions will follow and others' actions will follow behind because of the surroundings that I'm breathing, which is positive.
Wow, Dante, that is some good stuff. Wow. You know what? I see now why you said, do we want to cover this tomorrow? That's like another deep subject. And you know what? We may just do that. How about tomorrow if we go into more details of setting goals, how to actually help you do that so that, because, I mean, a lot of times if we haven't been taught these things, we don't know them. And so tomorrow I want to kind of do that. I want you to bring your pad back, bring your notebook and your pencil back. Let's talk about that. Let's have you set some goals here so that you can take the action. And hopefully you've kept your book and you've read through your book today. You've added to the book that we did yesterday, your creative visualization notebook. And bring that back with you tomorrow so that we can go more into setting goals. And I think the next one is ideal theme. So I want to say thank you to Dante Godfrey. Thank you to Sandy Gray for coming out to the panel with me and helping me to be able to mastermind with you and sharing your thoughts and ideas. And you know what? Something since I was reading, I didn't get a chance to look at the questions. I want to make sure no one had questions. Oh boy. It's stopping. I don't know. I need a good translator. I don't know exactly what you're asking, so if you know how to write that in English, and I'll go ahead and find a translator so that next time I'll be prepared. And let me see. I don't know if I was going to go over, and our website was down today, so I was not able to actually have our live feed available. So what I'll do is if there's any questions that you have, any mastermind ideas that you have, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and type those questions in there, and I will get back to you and respond to your questions from there. Again, I want to say thank you to Dante and Sandy. I want to say thank you to our listeners. I really, really appreciate each one of you for coming out, hanging out with me today, and hopefully this information has been helpful to you to help you to move to the place that you desire in life and get past those blocks. Thank you again. God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow.